It's probably the most iconic training montage in movie history. You know the one: crazy sweatsuit, soaring music, and that final triumphant charge up 72 stone steps. For decades, it's been a symbol for conquering the impossible, a physical metaphor for an underdog rising to a great challenge. We all bought into the story of a man overcoming a colossal physical obstacle. But here's the thing: it's 72 stairs, not 720. It's not Everest. So why was it such a big deal? Today, we're testing the myth. We're putting Rocky's famous run under the microscope, comparing it to modern challenges like Red Rocks in Colorado, stadium runs, and everyday stair workouts. Because maybe it wasn't the stairs that were hard, it was what they represented. So first, the facts. The Rocky Steps are 72 stone stairs leading up to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, about 30 vertical feet of elevation. That's it. For anyone in decent shape, it's a climb that takes less than a minute. Tourists do it all the time without breaking a sweat. In the world of athletic feats, it's almost laughably modest. Today, you'll see tourists in heels, guys in business suits, wedding parties, even kids eating ice cream running up them just to get that iconic pose at the top. Compare it to a place like Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado, where athletes take on 380 steps in an altitude of over 6,400 feet. That's a punishing physical test. Halfway up, your lungs are begging for mercy. So physically speaking, Rocky Stairs, not that hard. So why did 72 steps become one of the most powerful moments in movie history? But what if the whole point of this scene has nothing to do with those 72 steps? What if everything you thought you knew about this moment was a lie? A lie we all fell for. It was never about the steps. It was about that one step he took in the dark, and that changes everything. So if the climb isn't that hard, why did it become this universal symbol for overcoming the impossible? Because the steps were never the real obstacle. The real mountain to climb was inside Rocky's head. Before that famous montage, we see a man absolutely crippled by self-doubt. He calls himself a bum from the neighborhood. He's a small-time club fighter and a debt collector for a loan shark who was told his whole life that he wasn't born with much of a brain, so he'd better use his body. So his first attempt at training is pathetic. He's slow, he's tired, and he gives up halfway up the stairs. The physical world is just a mirror of his internal one. He doesn't believe that he can win. He doesn't even think he deserves to try. And that brings us to the real victory, the one step that actually mattered. It didn't happen in the glorious daylight. It happened in the freezing cold and pitch black of a 4 a.m. Philadelphia morning. The victory wasn't climbing the 72 steps. It was taking the first step, the one out of his warm bed and onto that lonely, unforgiving street. That was the real fight. It wasn't against Apollo Creed. It was against that voice in his head telling him to stay in bed, to give up, that he was just not good enough. That single step was the moment he transformed. It was a private decision made when no one was watching and no one was cheering. He chose to face his fear and doubt all by himself. Everything that followed, the push-ups, the sit-ups, the miles on the road, was just the fallout from that one solitary choice. He won that fight the moment he decided to show up for himself. When you rewatch the movie, knowing this, that final run up the steps feels completely different. It's no longer about conquering a physical thing. It's a celebration, a victory lap for a battle that's already been won. The groundbreaking Steadicam technology, one of the first times it was ever used in a major film, makes us feel like we're running there right next to him, sharing in his triumph. The camera floats, capturing the raw emotion on his face as he finally sees himself not as a bum, but as a contender. That little dance at the top isn't for the city of Philadelphia below. It's for the man who finally conquered himself. The real climb was always internal. This idea of finding the hidden story, the one that changes how you see everything, is what we love to do. If you enjoy challenging the way you look at your favorite movies, take that one small step of your own and hit that subscribe button. So maybe those 72 steps don't look hard, but for the millions of people, they represent the hardest part of all, starting. If your health feels like a mountain right now, if you're dealing with fatigue, pain, or chronic illness, just remember this. You don't have to run to the top. You just have to take that first step. The lie of the rocky steps is that victory has to be a big public spectacle. The truth is, our greatest wins are usually quiet, personal, and happen when we're all alone. The real message of the story isn't that you have to climb a mountain to be a champion. It's that you just have to be willing to take that first hard step out the door. The Rocky story isn't about becoming a champion in the ring. It's about becoming a champion of your own life, one quiet, determined step at a time. The victory isn't in how far you go, it's in the courage to begin. That's how transformation really happens. Not all at once, but one step at a time. One tiny step today becomes a bigger one tomorrow. And before you know it, you'll look back and realize that you climbed your own personal version of those steps. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video gave you something valuable to take away. Your next step is just one click away. Check out our next video right here. And if you want to join this community and see more content like this, hit subscribe and give it a like. I truly appreciate the support.